What is up, gamers? It's Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 best heroes currently in Dota. Now, the meta hasn't changed for a while. However, I think as the pro scene continues to, just figure out what's good, because even there's no patch, Dota still changes, which is the cool thing about, Dota. At least in the pro scene, people are coming up with new strategies and ideas to improve, and you can put them in your games too to actually do well. So yeah, let's talk about the 10 best heroes, and I'm actually going to start with some notable honorable mentions. Is that the same thing? Let's just get into it.
This pro guide you're about to see is one of hundreds, just like it, over at gameleap.com. Gameleap is your #1 stop to become a specialist in your desired role fast. Check us out today with the discount link in the description below to unlock your hidden potential, but for now, let's hop into the video.
First off, I just want to say I think Lich is very good right now. He's one of the better undervalued position 5s, especially for pubs. Why? Because this hero's landing stage is extremely good. Level 1 Frost Blast combined with, a couple mangoes and some clarities is some of the best harass in the game, considering it also slows for a lot, meaning you get a lot of right clicks off. In addition, it's AoE, meaning you can push the creep wave and get your team or your lane in a creep advantage, which is very, very beneficial if you're trying, to play aggressive. It just works like that. Next up on honorable mentions, we have Shadow Demon. I still think this hero, at TI, it was the support, and it still is basically the same. The only thing that got nerfed was its W, I think, by 5%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was it. So yeah, this hero is still bonkers, really, especially if you know what you're doing on it. What I'm going to say, if you're playing Shadow Demon, I recommend you make a lot of stacks in the jungle, and when you get your level 3 poison, you can actually start taking them very easily and snowball, even as a 5. I had this game recently where I was the highest XPM in the game as the 5, and when you get to your level 20 talent, you just shred people. Next up on honorable mentions, we have Treant. I think this hero is just really, once again, really good in pubs, dominant laning stage, and its living armor when maxed out is bonkers. It feels almost impossible to take towers unless you have a team comp that addresses it, and it just saves people globally. Really, really good in pubs, obviously, because, people are dying a lot. And finally, we have Ricky. I know that sounds kind of weird, but yeah, I think Ricky is just super good. Super, super good in pubs. Especially if you're low MMR, anything below 3k. I shouldn't even say that because I think the hero is good in every bracket. But once again, very good laning stage. If you're trying to get into last hitting and denying, because you've been hearing me ranting about it for the longest time, it's you gotta get better at last hitting and denying if you want to improve in Dota. Ricky is so good for this in the laning stage because for every creep you can actually just easily get the deny because your backstab works on it, which is super convenient. Now let's get into the actual top 10 heroes right now. At number 10 we have Mirana. Now this has been the case for a while. Why do I think this hero is still good? Well, it really hasn't been changed. How do you kill Mirana is actually the real question I want to be asking. If you guys figured that out yet, any counters to Mirana, I'd really like to know. I'm still figuring it out myself. One that comes to mind is Meepo because you can net her a bunch. But really, one of the things I've noticed about a lot of the popular supports right now is that they're very hard to kill, which creates for the situation where supports can just play dead lane for a while. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically where a support just sits in the difficult lane, even if there's 3, 4, 5 heroes pushing. You just stall and you aggro the creep wave so that the tower gets defended for a minute or 2 minutes longer. And what this does is it naturally creates space. It's a useful death that actually a lot of support players do consistently, especially if you're a hero actually I'm not going to say some of them because they're in this list. Getting back to the point of Mirana, Arrow, still very reliable for laning stage, super good in tri-lanes. If you run it with something like a Gyro Treant in a tri-lane, you just, stun into stun into stun. Pretty easy money, easy cash money. Moving on to number 9, we have Magnus. Now, for a while, I'm afraid saying Magnus because I think this hero in low armor pubs can be a bit of a debate. It's weird. The thing is, the hero's landing stage is pretty good, and actually I recommend you max out Shockwave, something when I was gaining MMR spamming Magnus when the hero was absolutely broken, gave 12 damage at level 1 with Empower. Those were the days when you could just give a Lina 12 damage. But really, maxing out Shockwave is better than people think. I think a lot of players, especially in low armor games, they're copying the Empower max, and usually I think it's okay to copy people, and especially pros, but the thing is here, you have to know how to use it with your carry or get used to making stacks and using it to just amp up your farm. It's not necessarily the best for fighting, right? It gives damage, but not that much. It only goes up by 10% per level in terms of damage. So I really recommend maxing Shockwave and just sort of spamming it on the creep waves and harassing your opponent. It's a lot easier to execute and actually doesn't really delay your Empower timing too hard because at many MMR brackets, people don't even start moving around the map till 10, 11, 12 minutes. And by that time, you might just be a high enough level anyway to have both maxed out. So it's more convenient just to win your lane. Moving on to number 8, we have Baseless Void. Hero so reliable. Void is just so reliable. Really, is there a hero that has a more reliable laning stage than Void? maybe. Some that we'll actually talk about in this video. But really, like, I think the thing is, ever since I've watched more and more Void, I come to the realization that, like, it's one of those heroes where even if you have a bad laning stage, which is unlikely, but even if you have a bad laning stage, your sheer ability to just create space is so potent that it's hard not to think this hero is good, right? Or like disagree with me here, because let's say you have a bad laning stage. What you can do is you can set up with any hero that does any semblance of damage and smoke and chrono someone if the game's going bad. Like, just go kill mid. You can just go chrono mid. There you go. Now your mid's going to carry you. After that, you go back to farming a side lane, and if any hero that is even slightly weak comes and contests you, you just bash them to death. And that's all you have to do on Void. That's it. When you have chrono, go kill someone. When you don't, push in a lane. If you can't do that, good lord. Coming in at number 7, we have Caudill. I was really considering putting this hero higher, and I think it kind of does deserve it to some extent. Caudill is frustrating. This hero is just frustrating. I think more so than in the TI7 patch when Mana Leak just like info-stunned you for 4 seconds. I think it might be worse than that. Will-O-Wisp is just, do I say it's the best spell in the game? Not necessarily, because it can be countered by like Jug and Lifestealer, but those are just 2 heroes. So, Will-O-Wisp, its cast range is crazy. You can just chill in the back of the team fight. All your spells cast range are crazy, which is why it's so hard to kill Caudill. It's similar to the idea of Mirana. In fact, it's kind of what I was referring to when I was saying other heroes that are hard to be killed as a 5. You can defend towers so long as Caudill. Like, how do you push into this hero? You miss 70% of the time, your wave gets blasted, and then let's say you mana burn someone, or like some hero runs out of mana in the fight. That's usually a major issue, right? Even for carries like Troll and Animage, it can end their game. But if you have a Caudill on the team, yoink, full mana. And like, the fact that it works on things like Metamorphosis is just comical. I'm not kidding, guys. You can reduce Metamorphosis cooldown with Caudill. I'm not saying you should pick TV. That hero's like fairly meh right now. I just think it's funny that you can do that. Next up at number 6, we have probably the most flexible hero in Dota right now. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. The next hero is the most flexible hero in Dota. And that's not a joke. Pajero is like probably one of the most flexible cores. Don't play Gyro support. I've seen people do it. Stop! It's not, come on, is it really that good? It's not that good. If you're gonna do it, at least go Veil. Don't do it though. Why is Gyro so good right now? Well, other than just a very reliable laning stage, ever since he got those like agility or base attack time nerfs, the fact that you can hit a creep twice before someone can react and hit it once is insane. You can have 40 damage on Gyro, and it's essentially like having 80 because your base attack time is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And in the laning stage, it just allows you to track people down so effectively with Rocket Barrage. Like, if the hero had a lower attack speed, it's harder to track people with Rocket Barrage, right? Because the ability naturally needs you to stay on top of people, so it's hard to right-click them, right? But because you have attack time, if you're good at attack moving, you just do this insane amount of damage that is so hard to deal with in side lanes. And if you're a mid laner and you hit level 7 and you walk to the 10-minute bounty rune fight, you just like, it's impossible to fight Gyro. You have to have like units, otherwise you're just getting melted. You're going to get melted. In addition, with this ultimate and rocket and flat cannon, the amount of pure AoE damage and like the fact that you have a mix between AoE and single target just makes this hero so good, because you can push waves, you can take stacks, or you can just go solo kill someone. When I say flexible and when I meant flexible, this is another aspect of the hero that is flexible. Your ability to just scale late game or run around and kill people. There's not a lot of heroes that can do this, right? That have this option to play 2 major different ways, the fighting and the farming playstyle. He can do both. Coming in at number 5, we have Leshrac, and yes, this is the most flexible hero in Dota. It can play any role. It can play safe lane, it can play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I said safe lane twice, but even in the pro scene, it's been played at every single role. Maybe not 5, to my knowledge, but I've played at 5, and I've had the highest GPM on my team. In fact, I believe there's a YouTube video on that. If not, it's on the gameleap website. Regardless, Leshrac actually does everything. Reliable laning stage, good mid game, right? Takes towers, pushes in waves, can take stacks, scales. What doesn't Leshrac do? Frankly, if you spam this hero and you understand its ins and outs, not that it's hard to lose, it's just like, it's so flexible. There's actually no hero that's more flexible than Lesh, and not Gyro. You actually can do anything. You actually can do anything, right? If the game's going bad, just watch DeBowie's video where he got coached by a high MMR player and just ran down lanes. It's that simple. Just run down lanes and don't die. Game's going well, just gank any side lane and you shred them. And then after you gank the side lane, you just insta-take their tower with Diabolic Edict. That spell's garbage. It's actually so ridiculously broken. I really do hope it gets nerfed in the next patch, even though I'm a huge Lesh fan. That's if we get a next patch. And coming in at number 4, we got Legion Commander. I feel like this hero could be lower. I know there's a lot of players who think she's kind of bad, and actually for the longest time I thought this hero was abysmal. I'm still a bit iffy on it, but I've really come to like Legion just for her ability to dominate lanes in multiple different ways. Having a bad lane, take your overwhelming odds and secure creeps. Having a good lane, you can max your Presty attack and your moment of courage and just run at them endlessly. In addition, in team fights, you have the same thing. Really nice options. You can either play in the middle of the fight and you can tank damage if you go the Bracer and Pipe build. You can be an Initiator who goes Blink, Blade Mail, BKB, or you can play defensive and just sit behind your support all game and make sure no one gets gone on, right? It's really, really nice to play this hero just because you can either let's say you're in a pub, you can just straight up carry. Like, this hero is easily just, you can play it as a hard carry. In fact, I just lost to it. It was awful. You can play it as a hard carry from the offlane. You can play basically as a support, go defensive items, and just sit behind people with press the garbage, right? Or you can just soak damage and press the attack yourself. It's really nice to have this hero on your team. It feels super, super convenient to just get unstunned on a 13-second cooldown that also gives you, 90 attack speed and, a ton of HP regen? Maybe it's the other way around. I mean, regardless, so good. Coming in at number 3, we have Abaddon. Similar to Legion, these heroes are actually, not the same, but they're brutally similar. I would say the one thing that Abbott doesn't do is he doesn't scale like Legion. You can go the Radiance build, which technically would allow you to do that, but it's really fallen out of favor. You're more so picking Abaddon just to run at people. In the laning stage, if you pick him with any sort of slower stun, you just get that silence garbage. I believe it's called Curse of the Avernus. And yeah, if you get 4 stacks, they just melt. What is it? It's a 60% slow at max if you get the procs. 60%! 60? And what is it, 100 attack speed is what? And the fact that it works on buildings is the funnier part. It's oh, you want a team fight? Might as well take their throne instantly, and as long as you hit them 4 times, it just explodes. There it goes. But once again, similar to Legion, it's nice because you can either play this hero as the frontline damage soaker, or you can just sit him behind any hero and just be hey, there's a very low chance you're gonna die if I'm in the area. And that is very convenient to have in a hero, the ability to either split push, play aggressive, sit behind your course. It's nice because you look at some other heroes, it's Clockwork. Well, can you really do that? Not really. That's why no one picks that hero. Beastmaster, Beast is a great hero and it fits certain team comps, but can you really tank the damage as Beast? Not as well, not nearly as well. And that's why I think Abaddon and Legion are quite a bit more popular right now. Coming in at number 2, we have CK, and I know you might be surprised to hear that. CK, when was this hero didn't even get really picked at TI. CK, I think CK is just so good right now. Does anything beat CK in lane? I actually need someone in the comments tell me, does CK get beaten in lane? I don't know. Does it? Because that stun after it got buffed is just so annoying. It feels like it's off cooldown 100% of the time. It just always stuns you for 2 seconds for a gajillion damage. And then he crits you for 104 damage on a 4-second cooldown that also heals him. And then in team fights, it's do we go on the CK who has 4.7k HP, or do we ignore him and all get one shot? That's a really good question. I don't know the answer. Frankly, the only way you shut down CK is if you somehow manage to tri-lane destroy him in lane, and then the hero can't necessarily catch back up that fast due to its slight lack in farming capability. But usually it doesn't lose lane. So this isn't much of an issue. And the fact that it just uses 2,000 gold items, such as Armlet, Midas, Drums, as pure DPS items that just make your illusions just one-shot people, because you also just need a Bracer, Wand, and Shreds as stats that give infinite DPS on this hero, is crazy. You can build Heart second item as a damage item. It's funny, but it's also very strong. And finally, coming in at number 1 is I don't know if maybe there's pros that think there are heroes that are better than this one, but Chen is just, if you don't understand Chen right now, I'm going to give you a quick explanation of why Chen is so good. The hero has a couple aspects. So first off, is its healing, right? Which a lot of you probably know it for. If you have Hand of God and Mech, you heal people for over 500 HP. More, if I'm not mistaken. It's much more, actually. 600. And just that right then and there, and the fact that it's AoE, means you can heal your team for 3,000 effective HP. 3,000? That's a big number. In addition, it's just all heals get amped. So yeah, base regen? Sure. Urn? Sure. Tranquil? Sure. Wand? Sure. They all get amped. It's just amped. Not only that, you have a recall. This used to be Caudill's axe. It was part of an axe. Now it's just part of a kit. And yes, it's gotten nerfed 18 times. But even though it's only it's an 120-second cooldown at level 1, is it more? Oh, I'll blank it out, guys, because frankly, I don't even like seeing this hero. No, it's 140 seconds at level 1. And you could just bring someone to the lane. I played it recently in a pub, and I just brought this treant to me bottom. We just instant double killed the lane, out of nowhere. There you go. There's just a treant bottom. And he didn't have to commit TP, so what do you know? Even though he just killed bottom, he instantly TPs back top. What hero can allow you to play that fast? It doesn't exist. Newsflash. No, Nature's Prophet, not really. The hero's... makes me sad. And then last but not least, like the ability to take over creeps. I mean, you solo kill supports. Chen solo kills supports. Not only that, if you get farther enough ahead, especially in pubs and you have the right items, you can solo kill cores as a 5. I'm not kidding. Like, especially if you're good with micro, like, good lord. Oh, and last but not least, like, the magic resist creeps. If you guys didn't know this is probably the most broken thing, especially in the pro scene, that I almost forgot about. But the magic resist creeps, so, like, let's say you're killing a Hellbear camp, the, like, brown one that's really annoying to kill for whatever reason, that feels like it shouldn't be. Yeah, that one, it gives 10% magic resistance to all heroes. It also gives 20% to creeps. It stacks. Like, it just directly stacks. It gives everyone 40%. Like, you could have 4 of them, right? Everyone gets 40%. Unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Your team is just can't die to magic damage. I'm not kidding. You can't die to magic damage. You're just immune. And yes, that's part of the hero's kit. And you can imagine how strong that is in a professional scene where you're trying to, they very much rely on, getting on top of targets and killing them and getting rid of priority targets. It's very hard to do that when someone has over 60% magical resistance and a on-the-spot 600 heal. It's very good. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed and agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section down below, as well as leave a like on the video to help our channel grow. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.
Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at gameleap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now, to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys, 25%, and start your journey today.